Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stock Market Jimmy. Thank you for joining me, guys. I haven't made a video in a while because I really didn't have anything to talk about, to be honest with you. As I've explained to you guys, I'm not really interested in being one of these guys who constantly has to make videos every day to talk about things that just happen. I mean, stocks in the stock market is investing. It's not where you have to constantly be talking about the same thing over and over every single day. You want to just kind of talk about things that would be potential purchases. Maybe every once in a while when there might be a particular stock or a particular crypto that is something that you can make money on. And I only like to do it to where I actually make a move and then I actually sell it, or so I can make a video when I sell something or when I'm buying something. Now, unfortunately for you guys, you kind of missed my purchase, which was on this crypto right here, which is called AVAX. AVAX is what's called Avalanche in the cryptocurrency world. So typically, the three coins that you're looking at, these are coins that I do really well with right here. These three, okay? Now, one of the things about cryptocurrency is you really don't need to know a lot, and you really don't need to pay attention to all these coins that the people who have these crypto channels are trying to convince you to buy. Don't listen to hype that people are talking about how this is going to 5x and how this. Just don't listen to those people. I'm telling you. You only want to make moves in stocks, in crypto, when things collapse. That's when you want to buy. You want to buy when nobody else is buying. You want to buy when people are scared to buy and there's not a lot of movement going really on. So, for example, when you start getting into a bear market and the cryptos go down or the stocks go down, and there's not a lot of movement or anything happening, that's usually when you want to buy and just forget about it. Now, in today's market with crypto, it's very predictable, and that's where I make my money. I make my money in predictable markets. So let me share with you the trade that I just finished doing. Now, this is the second trade that I've made with AVAX. Okay, the second trade. The last trade that I did was a $35,000 gain. It was a $50,000 purchase, and it generated $35,000. It took 4 months on this coin. Okay, so let me click on it. And we'll take a look. So I'll show you here. This is for the year. Now, what's interesting is that this coin is down for the year 30%. 30%. So at $54 is the peak for the year. Everybody can see that, right? All right, so that's the peak. Now, guys, this is the number 14 coin in cryptocurrency. It's a gaming coin. So it actually used to be number 12, but it went down 2 slots. Now, if we look at a month, it's down 9%. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. In the month, it's down 9%. In the week, it's up 6.4%. All right, so here's what I'll teach you about this particular coin. Is my first transaction when I bought this coin, I paid $18.85. I'm sorry, my first time that I purchased it, which was 4 months ago. It's not the first time I ever bought it. It's just for this particular year. 4 months ago, I bought it for the first time of the year. And it had went all the way down to $15.15. And I purchased it. I got 50 grand. And then I sold it and it ended up generating 35,000, and it took 4 months. So now what happened was I wanted it to get, I told myself it was at $20. And I said to myself, if it gets to $18, I'm going to buy it again. So it happened. Let me take a look at the week chart. Yeah, you see this 1862? Okay, that's exactly when I purchased it. I purchased it for $18.85. So I said to myself that I'm not going to lose the opportunity over, less than $1. And I knew that it was a really, really good deal at $18. So I ended up purchasing it, but I purchased more than I bought the first time. And then I ended up selling it for $22.03. Okay, or $22.09. So I already sold it. And I only owned it this second transaction for 4 days, just 4 days. And it generated $15,640. So now obviously it's up even higher. Where it's at now, it's at 22.61. So it did go up another 50 cents, but it's been pretty predictable. And what it's been doing, it's really struggling to get up past $25, $26. So it keeps kind of going between $22 and then dropping down to $19 and then going up to $23 and dropping down to $21. So it's just kind of going back and forth. Now, you don't know when it's going to take off. Eventually, this coin could very well take off and go to a new high for the year. There's a lot of money. Now, in my particular case, I'm buying huge dollar amounts. So there's, when you make a certain amount of money in a few times, someone gives you 15 grand, you just take it. And now I'm in a situation, if you add up what I earned on the last trade plus the previous trade, so I literally, you're talking 65,000 that is basically free. So now I have $65,000 to free roll with the next transaction that I do. So what I'll teach you is that you want to learn from just watching and paying attention to the movement that these cryptos do. So you have to be careful too sometimes. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. When AVAX was at this price range of like 54, it would go down to like $42. So everybody was like, wow, $42 is a good deal because it was at 54 and 52 for forever. And so when it went down to 42, you're like justifying that you're going to buy it. And then when it dips down to $30, the first thing you think in your mind, oh my God, I'm getting a freaking awesome deal. How can I lose? I'm going to buy this for $30. And the problem is it tricks you because you think $30 is a good deal. And the next thing you know, the coin went all the way down to $15. Could you imagine being down half of your money? If you bought 50 grand and you're down to 25 grand and it went down half, what you bought is only worth half of what you paid. And so that is a situation what happens where you get stuck. You got a decent price, okay? You got $30 is a decent price for it. You felt that you were going to make money, and then it collapsed and went all the way down to 15, and it's having a difficult time getting past $25, $26, $27. It's having a very difficult time doing it. So what would happen is that you're not going to lose your money unless you are foolish and you hit the sell button, which I do not recommend that you do. But what you're going to do is you're going to tie up your money. And when you tie up your money, unless you have a lot of money, when you tie up your money, you tie up the ability to make profit and you're stuck. I call it stuck on stupid. You're stuck on stupid. So you're just stuck in the trade. You can't do anything with your money. You can't transfer it. You can't do anything. So you're pretty much out of business until that either comes back to where you can get out, but it's just a part of the business. So how do you prevent that from happening? Well, the answer is very simple. You do not purchase unless things absolutely crash to record lows, I'm talking like bottom of the barrel. Okay. So what is bottom of the barrel for AVAX? $9 is bottom of the barrel. AVAX had hit $9 before, but anything at $15, $16, $17, $18, I'm in. Because you have to look at both sides. You have to say, well, if I buy it for $18 and it goes back to $9, it's not going to take forever to go from 9 to 18. Okay? So I don't see you really tying up your money too long if it went to the record low, which is $9. So what now also too, when you purchase between let's say $15 to $18, you're in a situation where you could get really, really lucky, where you just happen to time it perfectly by accident, because you can't predict these things. But you could technically get lucky, and that sucker could go all the way back to the 55. And that's a lot of money, especially if you have a lot of money. Now, I'm a big fan of buying big. A lot of people will say, "Oh, diversify." You're better off having 4 different stocks that you buy, and you diversify it. I'm not that kind of investor. I like to buy really big on something that I believe and go for the big money. And these two particular cryptos right here. So if you look at here, so here's $40 right here. And then, like I said, if it went down to right here, let's say right about here, let's say right there, you would be like, oh, that's a great deal. It used to be 54 and now it's 27. You always want to pay attention to the lowest peaks of the year, and you want to only buy when things are just getting destroyed, where everybody's losing their money, the market's collapsing. Now, what's crazy about this is that, before I get into Bitcoin, I'll show you ADA. All right. Now, ADA, of all of the cryptocurrencies, ADA I've made the most money with. ADA, I've used to own it for 24 cents, and it went all the way to the moon. So I've made a lot of money with ADA. ADA is the 10th ranked cryptocurrency. Now, 71 cents, a lot of you guys are saying, oh, that it's coming down, that's a good price. Not really, okay? Let's take a look. Now, ADA, on the other hand, is up 62%. So ADA went all the way to $1.23. And if you look at ADA, here it is. In the last year, 31 cents, okay? So 71 cents is not at the bottom. This is a price that people are justifying. Okay, I'm not interested at 71 cents. I don't care if it goes to $2. I just don't care, because as an investor, I cannot put myself in a vulnerable situation. I can't do it. I cannot put myself in a vulnerable situation. What's a vulnerable situation? You buy $100,000 worth of ADA at 71 cents, and then it goes all the way back down to 31 cents or even 32 cents, 33 cents, something like that. You're stuck, all your money's stuck, and you're down half of your money. Now, in the long run, I doubt you're going to lose any money. But you have to be careful, because so you're not only trying not to lose money, but you're trying not to get your money tied up. Okay. Now, for those of you out there that are buying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 worth, and you're diversifying your portfolio, you're never really going to make big money with it. You're not ever going to make anything that's going to change you financially and get you ahead in life. So sure, you could do that. And if your money gets tied up, it doesn't bother you as much. Okay. Okay, I'll show you Render. Now with Render, it's down 51% for the year. Okay. It's for, let's see what the price is for this one. Yeah, so it looks like it's at $4.15 per coin. It's ranked number 46, and as you can see, it's dropped its ranking by 17 below. Okay, so it's not doing very well, and it used to be 272 or 275 for the low for the year, and you're at 4.15. So my advice for this one would probably be around the 3.1 range, 3.2 range would be okay. It is down 51%. It's down 20% for the month. For the week, it's actually up. Okay, look, for the week, it was at 3.5 and went all the way back up to 4.16. So I'm pretty close to what I think you should get in for, about 3.2. I think I would feel comfortable with that one. Okay. All right. And we'll just look at Bitcoin, which is just ridiculous. I wouldn't buy Bitcoin with a 10-foot pole, guys. I'm sorry. This is such a scam. It's such a scam. Cryptocurrency is a scam. If anybody out there that tries to think or tell me that cryptocurrency is not a scam, everything's a scam when it comes to digital assets. Currency, our entire monopoly, monetary money is a scam. US dollars, that's a total scam. It's a piece of paper trying to tell you that it has value to it. It has zero value. It's a piece of paper. It's a completely manipulated system. All of this is, okay? It's just a game, and the object of the game is to buy it lower than the next sucker that buys it. That's what this is. You can't, if Bitcoin was so valuable, why was everybody always selling it when it would hit 30, 40, 50, 60,000 after they made money and it starts going down? Okay. The people who are holding on to these coins and stuff like that, yeah, there's a lot of, very big money makers out there in the world. And when you get companies like BlackRock and all that kind of stuff buying this stuff, they're inflating the price is what they're doing. They're inflating this. $110,000 for an invisible coin. They got people mining it. There's no mining of crypto. There's nothing to mine. It's not you're not mining gold or anything like that. At least gold has an actual value. With gold, you can actually melt it and create a bracelet. You can put it into our chips and computers. There's things that you can do with the gold. With Bitcoin, it's an invisible digital receipt. It's a digital receipt. You don't own anything. You own the actual digital printout or digital screen that says, so here's what's happening. You're paying $110,000 for it. And that's your fake U.S. currency money, and you're giving up your U.S. currency money, which is fake too, to buy one of these Bitcoins. And, there's no way that I would pay $110,000. I mean, it's not even close. Like, there is just absolutely no way that I would ever do that. Ever would I do that. So anyway, if you were to look at the chart, the histories of Bitcoin, just 2 years ago it was 25,000. $25,000 2 years ago. So sooner or later, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money with Bitcoin, because when it starts to go and it drops quickly, it gets down to 80,000, people sell. It gets down to 68,000, people sell. Now, one of the things that Bitcoin has in its favor is that people will start buying it now that it has this new, these new highs of 110,000, 111,000. Now that it has these new highs, when it gets 50% lower to like 69, people are going to justify it more likely to say, oh my God, it's half what it used to be. I'm going to buy as an investment. Okay. And, what it does is it stops the bleeding from it going down to zero. So, if you have an avalanche that's where people are selling and selling and selling because they're losing their money, it creates an avalanche effect. But because it has the brand name, because it's a manipulated Ponzi scheme, and people want to make money with it, you're going to get people that buy it for 69,000 when it drops to 69,000. So it basically will stop the bleeding where it can start to rebound again. So that's all this is, guys. That's all it is. Don't be the guy that puts yourself in vulnerable situations. I don't care if in a month from now, if this was 150,000. You cannot put yourself in vulnerable situations as an investor. You cannot do it, okay? All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at some stocks. And I'll share with you a stock that I have some interest in, which is this Hewlett-Packard stock. Okay. So the sticker symbol is HPE, Hewlett-Packard, and it's trading at like $18.34, $18.35, something like that. Now, it's if you look at the 1 year, it's down about 11% for the 1 year. And if you look at the 5 year, it did really well. It made 71% over 5 years. So I like this particular stock, Hewlett-Packard. I think it has some potential with it. I think that it's the type of stock that you want to hold. And you could end up making, it just depends on how long you want to keep it, Let's take a quick peek at it. Let's see some of these peaks, 23. I mean, it really hasn't gotten up there very high. I think it's, like 23, 24. But I think that this stock could end up getting to like $32. I think that you could end up doubling your money with this stock over time. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but it could easily do that. Let's take a look at Amazon's done pretty decent. Amazon used to be 184 just a month ago, and now it's at like 217. Now here's another stock that went down $7 per share today, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. It's actually down in after hours as well. So I think it went down like $10 today, $10 per share. But I'm hearing a lot of good things about this particular stock. So, but the problem with this particular stock is if you're not in this stock already, you're really getting in very, very, late, because it had incredible gains. So you had almost 300% that this stock went up in the last 5 years, and in the last year, 300% as well. So if you would have bought this stock at the beginning of the year for 50 grand, you literally would have 3x your money. You would have 150,000 off your 50 grand. So, again, even though I like the stock and stuff like that, you put yourself in vulnerable situations. So let's take a look at the forward PE ratio on this stock. Okay, it's not disclosing that. It's not disclosing that. Now they do have billion. They got total cash is 1.2 billion. It doesn't disclose either the free cash flow. So it's really hard to say how they are with their financials. So, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about the stock. I don't know enough about the stock. Now I have been waiting for SoFi to dip. And it just hasn't. It just hasn't. It just keeps going up slowly and slowly and slowly. And to be quite honest with you, I have been waiting for stocks to start to go down, and they just keep going up. They just keep going up and up and up and up. And I've been kind of surprised by that. I've been very surprised by that. Here's one here. Google's all the way up to $180 now. But here's Arista. Now, we talked about Arista. Guys, you remember when I told you that when it was $85, I told you to get into this stock when it was $85. And now it's 94. It even went up higher. Let's look at the last month. So if you would have listened to me, it went to $97. And I told you to get in at 85 when it was $85. So you would have made $12 per share on this particular stock. So I would like to see this thing dip back down to about 85 again. Okay? So if I was you, I would wait until you see that. HIMS has a lot of good things going. I do not like the PE ratio on this thing. I think it's way overpriced. But, okay, look at this. 5-year, 449% positive. 1 year, 155%. So, I mean, this thing is just taken off. So, it's one of those kind of situations. You could technically put yourself in a very vulnerable situation. So, I'm not the kind of investor that likes to take gambles and tie up my money. I only like to make moves on crashes. I don't care if I only do 2-3 trades a year. But when I get my trades in, they're very rewarding for how much I'm earning. I mean, just for what I've earned on the 2 crypto moves that I made with AVAX is what some people don't even make in a year. And that was just 2 quick trades. The last trade only took 3 or 4 days. That was it. The first trade was 4 months. But it's not like I went to work every day. I just clicked the button on buy. 4 months later, I clicked the button on sell. Okay, so anyway, that'll wrap it up for today, guys. Let's just real quick, if there was anything I missed. Nike's slowly moving up, guys. I told you about Nike when Nike was $52. Now it's $63. It's been slowly creeping up, just like I told you it would. Okay, this is the last month. Right here, guys, $60. Actually, no. Let's go back a little more than that. We were lower than that. Okay, $52 in the last 6 months. And now that sucker's at $63.87, and it's slowly creeping up. It's basically $64. And that's how some of these stocks work, guys. They start creeping up slowly and slowly. Now this one, the Honest Company, this is that one that I told you guys about. That's a really good swing trade type of stock. I would like to see this come down to about $4.75, and I'll go ahead and buy it, and I'll hold it until it gets to $5. Okay, I want to share a stock with you guys before we go. That this stock is known to take off. Okay, this stock has made a lot of people very, 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 very wealthy. It's a horrible company, horrible, absolutely horrible. They are in complete debt. They make no money, but yet the stock makes millionaires. I don't know why but it's, for some reason, this stock is used by very wealthy people in the stock market to push it and make millions of dollars. They do it all the time with this stock. And the stock was like $4.70. Let's take a look. Last month, look at this, guys. It was $4.03. It reached all the way up to $7.44. Okay? So in 1 month, you would have almost doubled your money on this stock. Now, this stock has the ability to go all the way up to $22. It's a horrible stock. I'm not telling you to buy it. I am not telling you to buy it. I'm just telling you, if you pay attention to this stock, this FuelCell, for whatever reason, it will have its runs and it gets pushed and promoted for some reason, where you get a lot of money by the big boys that come in on this stock and push it up. So we'll see what happens. But there's no way I would buy it at this price. But I wouldn't be surprised if the thing goes back up to like $9, $10. I wouldn't be surprised, but it also could go right back down in the crapper. It's hard to say. It's not something that I would buy unless I got it really, really, really low, like $1.80. I would have to pay like $1.80 for it. Would be the only way I'd probably buy it. Okay, guys. Another one that keeps going up is PayPal. That thing just keeps rising slowly but surely as well. And this is another one that we talked about a month ago, where you could have bought it for $58. I told you about it when it was $58, and now it's $74. So these things just kind of creep up on you guys. They just kind of creep up, and we definitely need some negativity in the market. We definitely need some things to change to get these prices down, because I'm just not getting involved with most of these when the boat has already sailed. I'm not a hype buyer. I don't care if I'm missing out. I don't care. I'll wait until everybody loses their money and nobody has any money, or I'll wait for people to tie up their money and everything starts coming down and they can't sell it because they're stuck, and it hits rock bottoms again. And that's when you want to buy it really big, pick the best stock, buy it really big, and just hold it until you make your money, and then there you go. That's the way you got to do it in this business. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Give me a like and subscribe to this new channel. I'm going to, try to pump out some videos when I can. But again, I don't make videos just to make videos, okay? I know a lot of the people in the stock. And guys, most of these people out there, there's very few of them that even know what the hell they're talking about. And, when you see somebody making videos every single day, nonstop, about stocks, they're not a stock, and they're investing in stock market and stuff like that, but they're more interested in it as a YouTuber. They're just constantly bombarding you with a bunch of crap every single day. There's not that much to talk about with stocks. There's the same stocks all the time, guys. There's only so many stocks that are worthwhile to even invest in. So you don't need somebody to listen to somebody every single day. But you want to keep an eye on the things that we talk about. That way you know what price ranges to look for. All right, guys, thanks for watching.